I'm going to talk about processing black walnuts. So this year I harvested, stored, I ended up with about 80 bushels of black walnuts after they're husked and hauled. So it's about a 4.5 to 1 ratio of getting hauled nuts. So you're getting about 4.5 times the amount of in-hauled nuts to get out of the hauled nuts. So after they're hauled, I put them and store them in these bags. These are about 1.5 bushels of nuts in one of these mesh bags. I put them in a secure location so the squirrels don't get them, where there's a lot of air, and let them dry out. So I want to demonstrate, we're going to talk about cracking and how much cracking you should do to get the nut meats out of these nuts. The big issue about black walnuts versus, say, your California style English Carpathian walnuts is you don't rarely get whole halves out of these. The nuts stay retained in that shell for quite a while. They usually come out as quarters. But you have to run these and cycle them through the cracker multiple times until you really get all those retainers knocked out of the shells. So the first time through, any of you people that have motorized crackers, there's a lot of people that have various versions of motorized type crackers, which this is one that I made. My cracker cracks and it goes right down through a sorting table. That's where we're going to pre-sort the shells. And shells that need to be cracked again ran through the cracker. The large nut pieces are going to fall into this tub. The nut meats and the small shell pieces are going to fall out of the shaker table over on this side. I'm going to show you a close-up of that later on. And then after, that's what I call the pre-sorted material. Then we're going to run them through my air column separator to try to get the majority of the shells out of the remaining nut meats. Then later we just hand sort them. So a bushel black walnuts is 40 pounds dry. So this is 40 pounds. We're going to start running them through the cracker right now. Okay, this assortment here has been ran through twice already. Okay, so you can see that running a high volume of them through, some of these nut meats end up falling into this tub, but subsequent run-throughs, these nut meats will end up getting sorted out. I'm going to show you over here. This is what I call the pre-sorted material. You look real close. Large percentage of nut meat quarters. And this is the stuff that will get ran through the air separator. Okay? And we'll lose almost all these nutshells once you ran through the air cleaner. Okay, this is 3 times through the cracker. And, you know, a lot of guys, that's all they do is run them through 3 times. And right here, you get a nut piece like this. That's a retainer. There's a couple good quarters in there still. And you see, we're just getting started. Now, sure, you could set the clearance in the cracker down a lot farther, you know, against the crowding plate so it cracks them a lot more aggressively. But then you're going to get a lot of shatter. You're going to be grinding nuts up. You're not going to be getting nice quarters like this. Here's our sorted material. You look at that. Some nice quarters in there. And you're going to see we're going to get a lot more quarters. I'm probably going to run that through a couple more times, a few more times in the cracker. And we're probably going to double this amount. Now we're going to weigh this material when we get done. Try to give you an example. The stuff comes out the bottom of the shaker table screen. This is what I just call bird seed. Feed it to the chickens or put it out for the birds. I put it out for the wild birds as bird seed and they gobble that up. So, okay, let's get to cracking. Okay, as you can see, there's still some retainers in here. So it's been ran through 5 times, and also I might be running them through a little bit fast. If you crowd the shaker table, the sorting table, some of that you're not giving the nut meats time to come out. There's probably a good nut quarter in there. So it's been 5 times through. I'm going to run through again. And the point I want to make that if you have a sorting type table, you know, if you really want to crack these nuts on a small farm, direct farm market type scale, you need to be sorting as you're cracking. The pre-sorting as you're cracking allows you to get more out of those nuts, get those retainers out of those shells. Okay, again, black walnuts, will not crack out like the Carpathian walnuts do. Most of the labor is actually involved in the harvesting part. So put your time into cracking and sorting these. Okay, these are run through 7 times. And you see we got a lot of really small shell pieces, and there's not really many retainers left in here at all. So now let's go over to the other side here and see what we got. You look in here, we're going to take this material now, let's weigh it. We started out with 40 pounds of nuts, so let's see what we have of our pre-sorted material. And the point that I would like to make here is that the reason why, you know, it pays to crack the nuts 7 or 8 times through your cracker is if you have a sorting material mechanism to take out all those shell pieces that otherwise become insurmountable to hand sort, it pays to run them through a lot of times. A lot of people will run them through a cracker 2 or 3 times because they say that if I keep running them through your cracker, I get a lot of small shell pieces and it's just too much to sort out. So, you know, the point of this is if you're going to try to set up a farm scale cracking mechanism for black walnuts, do it in conjunction with a on-time sorting mechanism like a shaker table. Now, we're going to take it a step further. In my next video, I'm going to show you how I take the pre-sorted material out of the shaker slash sorting table, if you will, and run it through an air column separator. It's basically a version of a seed cleaner that I adapted to clean black walnut shells from the nut meats. Okay, let's weigh this and see what material we ended up with. Okay, 8 pounds, about 5 ounces. 8 pounds, but 5 ounces. So what I'm going to do next, we're going to run this mixture through our air column separator, and then I'm going to figure out what is the, we'll calculate what's the percentage of shells and nut meat. You know, how much nut meat do we vacuum out of this material, and what our overall yield is going to be from 40 pounds of actual in-shell nuts. Kind of break down the what it all takes to get black walnuts. It's a lot of work. All right, thanks for watching. Watch my next video.